Yo, I'm Vosk. Welcome to my mining farm out here in the sticks. Today, I want to talk about a specific mining strategy. Mining is basically getting a specific type of computer hardware or building yourself or making yourself, and you support these cryptocurrencies and their networks, you mine them, right? And you earn passive income in doing so. It's a way to turn a little bit of effort and some electricity along with the right computer hardware into, tangible passive income. I'm mining in numerous ways out here. Behind me, I've got the digital shovel mini pod, which we got into check out about a year ago. I thought we were finished with the immersion mining shed, but we might be running another bonus lap on that one. So we'll see. That's a TBD. I've been doing a few mods to it as well. The green shed is my DIY data center where I'm doing hard drive mining, and I'm going to be deploying computer hardware to basically run nodes where I can earn more from them and leverage that effort in hardware. And then we got a special project going on right now where this pipe is. Some more on that later. But the strategy that I want to talk about, okay, it is the strategy of hardware efficiency. And it's basically, how much do you want to crank your miners up to mine more coin, even though you'll be spending more electricity? In the perfect scenario, right, you have highest hash rate and highest efficiency somehow. Okay, so your hash rate is like your mining power. If it was a car, it'd be like your horsepower, right? More horsepower, faster car, generally speaking, right? I know. Dork. Okay, I'm a car guy too. Efficiency, right, is related to how much you're hashing versus how much electricity you're consuming. Higher electricity consumption is going to lead to a higher electricity bill. It's higher expenses. So the more efficient operation is the more lean operation, right? It's like a more fuel efficient car. It's gonna go farther on the same amount of gallons of gasoline compared to a less efficient model, right? You'll take the V8 dually, not as far as that little Prius hybrid is gonna go. It's an interesting conversation, and it's been brought up by numerous people, and in particular, it really stood out to me when Dennis was over here from BMA. I'm not talking about the time he got the face hole right there. Oh, if you know, you know. We're in here, and I apologize for the mess. Sound like I'm hosting you over dinner or something. I just knocked something over. Par for the course, right? This is inside the immersion mining shed. And if you believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are going to go up, right? Because I'm not just mining Bitcoin. In this tub alone, I'm mining Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Cadena's being mined in there. We're mining a bunch of Kaspa on the farm, and most of these other ones have Bitcoin miners in them. But the point here, didn't put that lid back on, right? Didn't put the lid back on. Come on, me. Anyway, check it out. Liquid cooled is like truly a mesmerizing thing. It's beautiful and kind of addictive. But the conversation came up about efficiency, right? And, so for some of these systems, I wired a lot of electricity for them, but I'm not using that much. And granted, 65 amps, that's a lot of electricity, generally speaking, but I'm running 6 miners in here and the cooling infrastructure. So the question, right, if you believe that Bitcoin or whatever other cryptocurrency is going to go up significantly in price, why wouldn't you crank those babies up and mine more coin now? Because generally speaking, as we move forward in the timeline, it becomes more and more and more and more difficult to mine these coins, right? You mine 1 coin a month today, you maybe mine at 0.9 next month, and before you know it, in a year, you're mining 0.5, and then it has a halving, and you get a quarter coin a month. And most of these prices, on average-ish, year over year, continue to go up and up and up. It kind of makes up for the deficit, right? I mean, Bitcoin's trading at a high price point. It's making Bitcoin mining continue to be very viable, even though today it is more difficult than it has ever been to mine a single Bitcoin. And it continues to get more and more difficult, more competition that Bitcoin having, right? and it just gets harder and harder. So why wouldn't you crank them up? Why wouldn't you go after maximum coin and play the long game and believe that it'll work out in the end? Well, it depends on you and your strategy. I love these little Drock meters we've put throughout these immersion installations. So I get real-time power reads on all of these immersion mining tubs. Well, at least these 3 big ones, not the smaller ones and the original one we installed in the corner. I'm also going to put in some very similar to these Drock meters that will give me a real-time temperature readout of each tub. So that'll be cool. That'll be fun. Little nerdy side experiment. So here's the deal for me and why I chose the efficient route. Even though, you know, it's kind of been proven right now that you should have gone for mining maximum coin. And again, this varies a bit by your electricity rate. You don't want to, you know, make yourself poor and make the electric company rich. No, absolutely not. So right now my rate's at about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm working on getting it down towards 7-8 cents per kilowatt hour with the next build out of our farm, but that's still like a good year out, which sucks to say. So we take this immersion shed. I have 400 amps of electricity ran to it, and I've pretty much maxed out my service. I could have cranked things up and maxed out my service sooner with less hardware. But now, for me, I've completely utilized all of my electrical capacity at maximum efficiency. So I have the highest density I can possibly have with the mining equipment that I have. So for me, efficiency was the right choice. I am constricted more by how much electricity I have than I am by something else, whether that's your capital or your electric rate or whatever. So I have another 400 amps ran to the hard drive shed, but I'm pulling 200 right out of that. And what I'm going to do with the other 200, I'll explain more another day. It's a bit convoluted. It's kind of the same thing over here with the pod. The pod has a 400 amp service ran to it. If you have 3-phase, you can run way more juice than I ran into it, but I basically ran 200 amps to each side of the pod. Again, 400 amps in total, which lets me run about more or less 24 miners. But for me, it's more advantageous to run more miners, better miners, more expensive miners than it is to buy a bunch of cheap ones and I run out of juice. And so this is one of the reasons why I think some people may not realize why Kaspa is so incredibly interesting and popular for mining, because for people that have a fair amount of money, right, they can afford these Kaspa mining rigs that, depending which model you get, is $300 to over $30,000. You can get in the Kaspa mining game and maybe you only have 30 amps, 100 amps. You don't have a lot of electricity. Well, you can put a lot of capital into the actual machine and get very impressive mining profitability returns. I mean, if you have the latest generation Kaspa miners, you're earning between $100 to $200 a day. And some, including myself, would say that the next real cryptocurrency bull run hasn't really even started yet. So what's the answer to the question? I hate to be that guy, but it depends on you and your scenario. For me, efficiency was the right choice. And it also helps me run a leaner operation. Everybody can be a bit more excited, and they can be a bit more bullish right now. But a year ago, this was very difficult. A year ago, I was barely treading water. Building a conservative operation that I know that I could float that electricity bill month over month, even if I wasn't making money for years, was very important to me. Because for me personally, I've been holding all of the coins I'm mining because I believe enough and am bullish enough and am bold enough and have tried to put myself in a position enough to be like, okay, we're gonna stack. We're gonna let this ride. And when things go crazy, that's when we'll take some profits. That's when we'll pay ourselves back. That's when we'll pay off our machines. That's when we'll zero out the books and then some. At the end of the day, mining for me is a true passion. I kind of think of it like a video game. I'm always looking to level up, expand my mining farm. Boom, +1 building. Boom, +3 miners. boom, my hash rate is up. I've got 1 petahash, I got 2 petahash, and I'm dreaming of 3 petahash. Right, that's how I'm looking at it. And that helps me kind of get into it, play the long game. Mining for me is also DCA. I'm dollar cost averaging into cryptocurrencies in real time, 24/7, 365. Every second of every day, I am expanding my cryptocurrency portfolio. I'm expanding my cryptocurrency holdings. And it's not some reoccurring buy on some centralized exchange. This is hardcore crypto mining in these buildings. And it's going straight to cold storage in multiple locations, right? So a heavy focus on self-custody, a heavy focus on decentralization, a heavy focus on just trying to, grab my future, by my own hands, and really not sit around and hope my 9 to 5 is going to take me wherever I want to go. Because I ran the numbers over 7 years ago before I really started the VoskCoin journey, and it wasn't gonna get me there. It wasn't gonna get me even close. Working, what felt like all day, super stressed out, a job that put me in harm's way. For what? Wasn't worth it. Thankfully, my beautiful pup Tails kickstarted my crypto journey, full-time endeavor when she got sick, and it was a terrible thing. It was heart-wrenching, and I couldn't be more thankful that she beat the sickness. She had the comeback story, and it's everything I asked for. It's everything I wanted. And so I'm thankful that she's still around here kicking. I'm thankful that, her condition basically lost me my old job, and it pushed me to be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on mining. I'm gonna focus on making some VoskCoin videos. I'm gonna focus on being able to pay my car payment. I'm gonna focus on being able to pay my mortgage, right? And then, in my darkest hour with some of that stuff, I was renting half my house to a guy, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm moving out, like, good luck, bro. And, he made the situation even more difficult for me. But hey, man, fake friends write the wrong answers on the mirror for you. He was also telling me that mining was stupid and I was too late back then. Well, I've been putting the work in ever since, and I got a lot to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for you tuning in and watching this video. That's my 2 cents today on mining and the strategy and my point of view, but how there are some other ways to go about this. Again, I am Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I hope you subscribe. Share the video with a friend. That's all I got. See you later. Hey, you want to buy a mining rig? Do you want a pretty good price on it and pretty fast shipping? Then you may be looking for ASIC Marketplace. Click our link in the video description below to not only support our channel, but support yourself with the coupon code we've got right next to it.